And I think for us, sometimes we believe God has showed us something. He's given us something. He's led us in a direction. He's opened a door. And what we do immediately is we jump to the conclusion about how we would do what he wants us to do, how things ought to work. And what we'll find is that what God does, how God works, is different than how we would do it. And I think it's important to clarify something in this story. If you grew up with this in Sunday school, there was this idea that Israel was this weak army and they needed God's help to take the city. They actually didn't. They were a strong army. There was about 600,000 fighting men, and the Canaanites and all the people were absolutely terrified about them coming into the land. So they could have absolutely done a frontal assault on Jericho. They could have put Jericho under siege and waited them out. They could have done it the way that everybody would have done it. And it would have taken a long time. It would have been extremely bloody, or both. And God gives a different strategy. He shows a different plan. It's not the one Joshua would have picked, not either of the ones that he probably would have seen. And so as we go into our lives, it's very tempting to take God's promises and bolt them onto our methods. It's tempting to take God's promises and interpret them how we would carry them out, how we would make them happen. And that's not how it works at all. So God then gives Joshua the strategy for how this is all going to happen. He says this: march around the city once with all the armed men. And by the way, this is probably a select group from the 12 tribes of Israel. Do this for 6 days. Have 7 priests carry trumpets of ram's horns in front of the ark. And on the 7th day, march around the city 7 times with the priests blowing the trumpets. When you hear them sound a long blast on the trumpets, have the whole army give a loud shout, and then the wall of the city will collapse and the army will go up, everyone straight in. We hear this, we're like, praise the Lord. He's going to give them the city. He wants to give you the city. You get a city. You get a city. You get a city. But from Joshua's standpoint, from his military leader's standpoint, this is the dumbest sounding thing ever. This is a ridiculous strategy. You have this priest sandwich. You have some soldiers in the front, soldiers in the back, priests with the Ark of the Covenant in the middle. And what they're doing, it's easy to think this is this big inspirational moment. We may have seen it in movies or heard it in stories where the music is swelling as they go around. It's probably a lot less dramatic than that because they're marching around the city in silence. There's a trumpet blowing and then they march around the city.